Have you ever questioned what is management consulting? Or have you ever wondered if you have a chance to get into management consulting after your undergraduate degree gets over? Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, then on my channel, I discuss all things consulting, all things MBA and personal finance. And I have been uploading videos almost on a daily basis. So feel free to hit on the subscribe and the notification button so that every time I'm putting out videos, you get notified. With that, let's definitely directly jump into this video. And of course, I've divided this video into two parts. One is about management consulting. Second is, do you have a chance of getting into management consulting as an undergraduate student? And in that category, I'm largely counting chartered accountants as well. I'm particularly picking this topic because I have seen a lot of comments in the community section on my videos, and I thought this is an interesting topic on which I could share my views on after working with BCG, after working with the chairman of McKinsey and Company, and I've seen fairly very diverse kind of people who work in management consulting. So first and foremost, I'm on a chai break. Let me know if you like chai or if you're a coffee lover. I think my appreciation for chai has actually increased after being here in US, especially Boston. And I really miss the dear chai back home in India. But with that, let's definitely get into the topic. About management consulting, so classic case of management consulting is that you are these advisors, and the management consulting model is not really new. So think of kings and kingdoms. Kings and queens always had advisors in their court, right? Who would advise them what kind of decision should they take or not take. The only difference is that back then in history, kings and queens always had advisors in their own kingdom who were people from their own kingdom. The management consulting model is a little different because you work for clients. You are not part of the client side, and many organizations are now coming up with strategy roles in their own venture because they want the strategy consultants to be from their own organization. And you go and work with the CEOs and CXOs. Why CEOs and CXOs? Because you work on really important issues: increasing the revenue, reducing the cost, mergers and acquisitions, due diligence, etc. Right? And the CEO and CXO will eventually allocate you to a CXO. That person could be chief product officer or the department head of a particular vertical, etc. And you very closely work with him or her on the problems that I mentioned. You travel to the client side very often. You work on their data. You're bound by privacy and confidentiality settings so that you do not share that information with anyone else. So that's largely the world of consulting. Of course, it is very high paying, and many a times the travel aspect could get draining, and many a times the travel aspect could get very glamorous as well. I had made a separate video around the glamour and the salaries, so feel free to check that out if that topic excites you as well. Which brings me towards the second section, which is around, do you have a chance of getting into management consulting as an undergraduate or as a chartered accountant? So once again, the second section I'm dividing to 4 sections, subsections. I know as a management consultant, I just create a structure beneath a structure, beneath a structure. I hope this is helpful to all of you. But coming back to the point, the first subsection is around target schools. The second is around resume. The third is around case interview. And the fourth is around fit. All right. And yes, so let's talk about target schools. So I'm talking of Indian geography here, and the answer of target schools, and if you have a chance of getting hired from a non-target school, many a times change geography to geography. So I'm largely talking about Indian geography here. And let's say I'm talking about McKinsey, BCG, Bain and Carney. McKinsey, BCG, Bain and Carney largely hire from just target schools in India. All right. These target schools in terms of undergraduation could be from St. Stephen's College, where I did my graduation from, SRCC in Delhi University, LSR, IITs of the world, right? They largely go to these campuses and they say, we are going to be hiring front-end consultants. For back-end consultants, right? People who do research, the list of target schools expands for BCG, McKinsey, Bain and Carney as well. Now, many of you may be from non-target schools, right? And how do you determine if you're from a target school or a non-target school? You go back in history of your placement of your school and see if anyone in the last 6 to 7 years has ever been hired by McKinsey, BCG, Bain or Carney. If yes, then you're part of the target school pool. At least you can apply, you can get a shortlist. If not, unfortunately, at least for McKinsey, BCG, Bain and Carney, I have never seen someone from non-target school, at least in my exposure in my working ecosystem. And which brings that the hope is still there for you as a non-target school student. And why do I say so? For two reasons. Number one, I still believe, especially Bain Capability Center, which is Bain's backend office, is still fairly prestigious in terms of the quality of work they do, right? I'm not calling prestigious because of the brand, but the quality of work they do. And Bain backend resources also have a probability of joining front end after their undergrad. So I know a lot of SRCC students who joined Bain Capability Center, and after serving Bain Capability Center for 2 years, they joined Bain front end, right? And at the same time, I think one of the key reasons why people are not able to crack management consulting in their life is because they're always obsessed with McKinsey, BCG, Bain and Carney, right? But the world of management consulting is much more than that, and those boutique consulting firms, right, those medium-sized firms are actually little more flexible than the Bain, McKinsey, BCG, Carney, etc., whereby even if you're from a non-target school and you hit everything right in terms of the check boxes, right, you still have a chance. Please don't hate me, I have not created this industry. I would love if all of you from non-target schools could also become eligible for BCG, McKinsey, Bain, etc. But I don't want to give any false hopes. I, at least in my tenure at BCG, have never seen any undergrad coming from non-IIT, non-St. Stephen's, LSR or SRCCs of the world and still getting a chance to work with Bain, McKinsey, BCG. But you still have hope for MBB firms and for the back end of the MBB firms. So that's step number one. Which brings me to step number two, which is largely around your resume. So here is what a consulting firm is looking in your resume, which is a spike. And let me actually help you with a synonym of spike. What is a spike? They're largely looking for an indicator of success on your resume. They're looking if you're hungry for success. Now, people who are typically hungry for success, they would have outstanding achievements on their resume. If you will keep telling someone that, hey, if you take me, I will become an overachiever, that typically doesn't happen, my friend. If you are hungry for success in some shape or format, you would have shown that hunger for success through certain data points. That would be that you could be the top 1% of your class, or you could have done outstanding internships from investment banks to private equity firms, or you could have been a national level hockey player, or you would have a solid extracurricular activities, or you could have been an entrepreneur. So they're largely looking for success, a proof of success in your CV, because with your clients, they want you to behave like that. They want you to take in and make their clients successful. That means they're looking for people who are hungry for success, and someone who is hungry for success would have done it in some shape or format, either their extracurricular or their experience with internships or with their entire academic experience, your GPA, etc. Which brings us towards the third section, which is around case interview. Let's say you got a shortlist through your resume and now you are sitting for a case interview. Here you will be asked very interesting problems such as how to increase efficiency of an organization, how to go about due diligence of an organization, how to evaluate if these two firms should do mergers and acquisitions, or this client is facing a decline in revenue. Can you go about advising what could be a particular solution? There you have a hypothesis, you build an issue tree, and through 30-35 minutes of case solving, you prove that you have the problem solving agility, which is step number 3. Which brings me towards step number 4, which is largely around the fact that you need a fit with the firm. So firms are not just looking for ace case solvers, they're also looking for people who can be a fit with the firm. So for example, when you're asked this question, why BCG or why McKinsey, you should not be giving Wikipedia copy pastable answer, because everyone can give that answer. You need to spend time with your own self and tell that after working in 5 internships or 4 internships, I realized something about myself, that I'm more of a strategical thinker. I like solving problems. I get a kick out of it. I get energy out of it. And for example, BCG in India does more public sector and private sector work, and hence I would want to join BCG, right? It's a more personal answer. You are drawing upon your experiences, or you could draw upon the conversations you had with the alums from BCG, and you could quote names that I had a word with Shatakshi on a particular call, and she told me certain 5 fantastic things about BCG, and hence I'm convinced, right? It's a more personal answer. No one else can say that answer because you know that connect, you have built that connect, and mind you, people check references as well. They will connect back with me and check, do you know this person or not? I'm dear friends with all the top partners, and I owe a great deal to BCG till date. I've always maintained that on all my videos. Which brings me towards the last section. So especially for chartered accountants, I do want to say I have a dear friend from ISB, and she was a double-digit rank holder in chartered accounting. I know limited about chartered accounting, but she was interviewed for McKinsey and BCG. So all the top rank holders are invited for McKinsey, BCG, Bain at least, for management consulting interviews. So you need to be well prepped with your cases and with your fit questions. So that is for chartered accounting. And of course, like I said, the world of management consulting is way bigger than just MBB. Of course, these are sitting at the top of the pyramid, but you need to do your research well. It is not frankly very hard to find boutique consulting firms through 4 or 5 keywords on Google. Which brings me towards the last stage. Of course, you need good quality case buddies to do casing, and of course you need to practice 20-30 very high quality case from a high quality source, from a high quality buddy. And of course you could game the system as well, especially if you're from a target school with a reference. And I've always maintained, if you need more help with management consulting and development consulting, feel free to check out my education venture called globalgovernance-initiative.org. And if you like this video, if you like being on a chai break with me, someone was commenting on a video that, Shatakshi, you don't sip the chai. I do realize that, but I think that could be very distracting for all of you. So not taking the sips right now, I will take it right after the video will be done. So feel free to hit on the like button and share it with your friends so that they get to know about all the cool things we are talking about here. With that, stay healthy, stay happy, and be kind. Bye bye.